What year is it? Shit. Um, Anybody else there?
Yeah, I it, 2026 though. I could have swore it's been a year since New Year's.
Oh shit. We entirely skipped a year.
Yeah.
Oops.
It
Well,
happens.
hi guys. We have returned apparently from the wormhole or whatever we went through. Whatever you want to call 2025. Um and well, we're here now and I'm hitting things with my arms. Um but you may have heard a new voice that just spoke. Yeah, we have a new person that's joining us. His name is Mike. Hi, Mike. How are you? Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Mike. I am new to this podcast and podcasting in general. I know some stuff. Uh, I'm a math major. I'm a mechanic repair person. But mainly, I just uh, explain things to people when they are not as interested as I want them to be.
I guess I should probably tell you guys where you're at. This is Veiled Tete-A-Tete, guys. Welcome back.
Yes.
I'm
Thank
good
you.
at this. I'm very good at this. It's been a year. It's been quite a year. Sorry, I was disassociating.
Yep. In any case, you should introduce yourself as the main host.
Oh, right. Hi, I'm Lili.
And I'm Eric.
Like I said, it's been a year. This is going to be fun. And speaking of years, what was one thing that happened last year that you were actually happy about? Crickets.
Hashtag host goes first.
Yes,
Um
host goes first.
Host goes first. Got it. Okay. Um I started reading books again or listening to books again. Actually listening to the Stormlight Archive. That's really
Nice.
good.
Yeah. But yeah, as for me, I was able to build my new PC just in time, right before the RAM price hike uh,
That's
started.
awesome.
Yes, I got a new computer too.
Yes, I built
I started playing Warframe.
3 PCs last year. It's fun.
That was a
And
good
yes,
thing.
Warframe.
Warframe, guys. We're all playing Warframe.
Yes. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently,
Yep.
I'm just hashtagging everything today.
That's
That's good.
okay. Because I suck at hashtagging.
If I'm actually on social media, so do I. I don't even post or comment. I'm a lurker.
You've got some karma on Reddit.
Oh, God. Now you've said that I'm on Reddit. You've basically called me a Redditor.
You did. You're
I
so mean.
mean, if the shoe fits.
It's not untrue, but how dare you?
How dare I?
Yes, read the filth.
Yes. So we've got kind of a different approach to our re-up on this podcast. Since of course we're bringing in Mike. They are now going to be my teachers, sort of, kind of. So there are a lot of things I don't know. And they know things, or they can figure out things, mostly. So I would continue asking them, oh, well, what about this? Or they'd go, oh, well, do you know about this? And I'm like, no, because I know nothing, Jon Snow. And so I decided, well, why don't you teach me? So now we're here doing a podcast because it's funny when I ask stupid questions.
Don't know that you ask stupid questions.
Yeah, they're just questions.
That's right, kids. The actual thing to say is there are no stupid questions.
I don't entirely agree with that either.
There are very stupid questions. But here's a question for you, Lily. You said that we're in the year 2026 now. By what calendar?
The Gregorian calendar?
Okay, good. You know the Gregorian calendar. Do you know what it replaced?
Damn it, I had it the other night. The fucking you need to ask me this question. The uh
The Julian
Julius
calendar.
calendar? Julian calendar?
Yeah. Yes, the Julian
I was
calendar.
like, I kept saying Julius Caesar, and I was like, yeah, that's right. But that's not necessarily the name of the calendar. What is the
Well,
last letters of the word?
the Julian calendar was put in place by Julius Caesar. But
Yes, I
yes.
know.
Uh, and it was very simple. It said the year is 365 days and a quarter, right? Like
Okay.
there's extra time at the end of the year, an extra. So every 4 years, we're going to add that extra day in. So it added in
Okay.
a leap day.
So you're gonna teach me about leap times then, right? That's where we're going
Yes,
with
I'm going
this.
to teach you about leap days. Yes,
Leap
not
days.
not necessarily just leap days, but how people deal with the fact that our year isn't exactly a whole number of days long, and how sometimes even seconds have to be added and subtracted because of things that happen. All right.
So that, my friends, is what we're going to talk about today. Since we leaped through time from 2024 to 2026. Okay. Times are added, but so it's not just like days, it's hours and seconds and minutes.
So a year is 365 days. That's a calendar year.
Yes.
Except in a leap year, it's 366 days.
Yes.
That's because the year is actually, this is the tropical year. That's when the sun goes from the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, the equinoxes. That is 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds. That is how long a tropical year is. And so that extra 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds causes problems. It's not exactly 6 hours. If it was 6 hours, then it would be every 4 years easily. But it's
Why
11 minutes short of 6 hours. So a
Ooh.
tropical year
device?
is equinox to equinox, right? You go from the spring equinox to the spring equinox. That's the sun is at its peak, right? That's a tropical year,
Okay.
but it's not exactly 365 days long, right? And the equinoxes are important, right? We're on the Gregorian calendar. The
Equinox,
problem was the
that's
Julian that it's important for Easter,
okay.
right? Because
Yes.
Easter is the first Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox. And if
Mhm.
your calendar keeps shifting, then your equinox ends up further and further away from when it's supposed to be, right, in the calendar. So by the year 1582, it was about 10 days out. So the equinox is normally March 20th or whatever, and it was ended up being like March 11th. So they skipped 10 days, October 4th to October 15th in 1582, and they went on the Gregorian calendar, which is like the Julian calendar. There's a leap day every 4 years, right? Because it's not exactly 6 hours, there's 11 minutes. that it has to jump back, which is about, it puts it about 18 and some ish hours ahead every 100 years. So every 100 years, they would skip the leap day. But then you're behind 5, almost 6 hours every 400 years, so they add the leap day back in. Right. And so that's the Gregorian calendar. You skip the leap year every 100 years, but every 400 years you add it back in.
But when do
But
we do that nowadays? You know,
well, so like
when
the
did
year
the Gregorian
1900,
calendar
the
start again?
for Catholic countries it started in 1582. For England, they adopted it in like 1752. They had to skip 13 days when they started the Gregorian calendar.
Yes.
So if you go on your app or anything and look up September of 1752, you'll see it goes straight from September 2nd to September 14th or whatever.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know if my app goes back that far.
Well, no, you can look it up on Google, but anyway, it skips all those days. And the Gregorian calendar did that, but it did it 200 years earlier, so they only had to skip 10 days. So,
So are we gonna have to skip days in the future or add days in the future?
yes, I mean, 2028 is the next leap year. We'll add a day, February 29th, right? But then the year 2100, which is divisible by 4, we skip the leap year in 2100. So
You know, if
we
humanity
added it
lasts
back
that
in
long.
2000. Yeah, okay, no need to be pessimistic. Hopefully, we'll have a better calendar system by then. Because I don't know if you noticed, but every 400 years, we are going ahead by 1 1/3 hours or so. So in about 2,000 years, we're gonna be pretty far out. So we might need to work on that. I think. I don't know what the next calendar system is gonna be called, but
I'm not gonna
someone needs to fix it.
speculate.
Someone, I, can you imagine in 2,000 years when the spring equinox is in on March 21st? It's on March 19th. That'll really upset people.
I guess.
Okay, but yeah, that's our current calendar system that we use here in the West about leap years.
Wait, what do you mean about
So-
here in the West?
Well, there are a lot of different calendars. The Gregorian calendar is sort of the standard, and it has been adopted just for like practical and trade reasons all over the place. But there are all sorts of calendars that have been used all over the place.
I
Um,
mean, I guess that makes sense because, you know, we're not like all one united people.
yeah. Um, so I did some looking into this, and quite a few calendars that have been and are still used are religious calendars. No surprise, religion is and has been sort of the center point of a lot of people's lives and in the center of various civilizations and societies. But most all of them have to deal with leap time, or a more technical term, intercalation.
Okay. Or
That sounds not safe for work.
Intercalation or embolism. If you're talking timekeeping, embolism is also inserting time into a calendar. But
oh,
calendars generally fall amongst three different ways of organizing. Basically, how are you organizing your time? They generally fall lunar, solar, or lunisolar. Basically, are you following the movements and phases of the moon? Are you following the sun, or are you using both of them? So lunar calendars don't usually employ intercalation or leap time at all, because the movement of the moon is astronomically pretty easy to predict. We as humans have been doing it for thousands of years and have been able to calculate that for quite a long time. And the way it breaks down, it's very easy to put into calendars and to break down into a specific thing. Solar calendars, such as the Julian and Gregorian calendar, uh, breaks down, as we all well know, and as Mike described. However, they don't all do it the exact same, as in uh, intercalation isn't always done by inserting an extra day into like the second month. Some calendars use what are called epigomenal days, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which basically epigomenal time, days, months, whatever, are time, days, months that sit outside of the calendar. The Ethiopian and Coptic calendars, which are solar calendars, use epigomenal days. So basically, they'll have their year as we know it, but at the end of the year, in between the end of the year and the beginning of the next year, there will be some days that aren't part of the calendar. Basically, they'll get to the end of the year and they'll go, there are 5 days until next year starts.
So they're just like free days that don't count.
In a way, sort of. And then you've
Is it
got.
like stoppage time in soccer?
I'm not familiar enough with soccer. I've heard the term.
Well, that's like they kind of add up the penalty time because the clock doesn't actually stop, and then at the end of each half, they like the ref says, "We got 5 minutes of stoppage time," or whatever.
Sort of, yeah.
Well, cool.
Excuse me. But yeah, go. What's up?
So how do you label those times? Do they have like their own like okay, so we have 5 days until the next year. So it is currently unassigned day 1, unassigned day 2.
I mean,
Like cuz
something of the sort.
you got to like write the dates.
Yeah.
So is it like okay,
on a
December
calendar,
31st of 2024, and then it's unassigned day, unassigned day, unassigned. Okay, it's January 1st, 2025.
something of the sort.
That's weird. Does the entire country stop?
No. I mean, so technically, those times would be during what are traditionally like holiday or festival times. Because like New Year's in basically any civilization on any calendar is usually like a time you celebrate. It usually falls during winter as well. So like winter is a time that you're traditionally you're like bunkered down, still working, but yeah, it'd be a festival time, right? But so that's
Are these things still employed today?
the Ethiopian and Coptic calendar aren't as widely used, but they're still used. So technically, Ethiopia and the Coptic Orthodox Church are relatively specific things in and of themselves. So there might be more used now.
So here's another question. Okay, so like um the Gregorian calendar is widely is globally understood? Question mark.
Uh, yeah. So like, of course, it comes from Europe, but like in other places, like in various places in Asia, it's also used as like a second calendar, just for like practical reasons.
So this is the outside world. This is what they see, but this is really what we focus on is X other calendar.
Sort of like they would use both. Um, like another way to look at this, because also I hadn't yet talked about lunisolar calendars.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
All good, all good. But lunisolar calendars use both the cycle of the moon and our revolution around the sun, and they have to reconcile the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And there aren't like an even amount of lunar cycles per solar cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up intercalating a whole month sometimes.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. So they'll either they'll every once in a while have a leap month. That's how they tend to do it. But it depends on the particular calendar. Some you have their own particular calculations of lunar cycles to determine it. The Hindu and Chinese calendar uh, have their own. Some, such as the Hebrew calendar, and actually the calculation of the date of Easter, use what's called the Metonic cycle. It is a 19-year cycle that calculates, sort of, the placement of leap months. So that's how the Hebrew calendar works. It's a 19-year cycle. And it's from that 19-year cycle that still influences calculating the date of Easter as well.
Yes.
Interesting.
Because the Last Supper was Passover, right? And so that's how you calculate Easter is based on Passover, and Passover is Jewish tradition. And so the Hebrew calendar is what determines when Easter is. And the Gregorian calendar, the same time that they adopted the Gregorian calendar, that's when they also set Easter as the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the spring equinox. That way it's no longer actually based on when Passover is, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
It still uses the lunar and the solar, though.
Well, because it uses the full moon, right?
Yeah,
The
that's what
first Sunday
that's
after the first full moon. Yes.
after the equinox.
Yes.
That's what I was meaning. It still uses both the
Yes.
sun and the moon.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
I almost called the moon Lua.
frame. But
Or from
an additional layer to this is the Buddhist calendar. So it uses intercalary days, leap days, and it also adds months sometime. Because so this entire time, for the most part, we've been talking about the tropical year. Well,
you're gonna go sidereal.
the Buddhist calendar, yes, uses the sidereal year.
What's that mean?
So to break it down as simple as possible.
Yes, for my simple brain.
Not my words, your words. More or less, the tropical year uses our sun as a reference point. Its variation.
Okay.
The sidereal year uses fixed stars as a reference point, as in stars in the sky that do not move necessarily. They move in a very fixed pattern.
Until they go away.
Okay, well, we don't have to worry about that.
You don't know that.
The sidereal year.
But yeah, so they use the sidereal year and the metonic cycle to define their year. So their calendar is somewhat different, and it's lunisolar as well. So they end up having both
Oh my god.
leap days and leap months that they have to calculate.
And the sidereal year is actually 20 minutes longer about than the tropical year,
Mm-hmm.
which means it's every 4 years you add slightly more time. So you need to add a leap day in every. I don't remember how many more
Mm-hmm.
years it is. It's like every 150 years or so you have to add in another extra leap day.
Yeah,
So you
that
have
that
two leap days instead of just one.
that specific fact right there is why they use leap days, because most lunisolar calendars tend to just add a leap month.
Yes.
But because they use the sidereal year, they also have to add leap days every once in a while as well.
And
Wow.
Lily, the sidereal year is longer than the tropical year because the Earth wobbles on its axis, right? And so the sun's going to be in the same spot, but because of the wobbling on our axis, it moves where the stars are in relation to the Earth by about 20 minutes. And every 20,000 years, it kind of resets back to where it was.
The earth wobbles.
Yes,
Yes, like a spinning top, it wobbles.
because our axis isn't like at 90 degrees relative to like solar up down.
No,
Yeah,
we're at
23 and a half.
yeah, I was gonna say, let me just attempt to remember a horrible, horrible song that I used to sing by a distasteful person.
Oh, good. A horrible
Yes.
song by a distasteful person. That really narrows it down.
Well, you know what? It's a religious singer that I went and that made a song about a witch inviting them
Oh, I know.
somewhere. Well, they also made a song about Jesus and how the world was, there's no way the world could have been an accident kind of thing, and 93 million miles from the blistering surface of the sorry, going into the song. It's may
That's
or
all
may
right.
not be a little traumatizing. But it's funny giving him a D20 when he said that Dungeons and Dragons games were set out on the table. That was fun.
Yeah.
So funny story. This person tangent here because this is what we do. This
Yeah.
this 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 singer, I will name them later. Um, he made this song. It's all about because he's this Christian singer about how like this supposed witch, or male witch, a warlock, invited him to his house, and he had all these demons that he commanded and this and that, and he was telling him that I could make you rich, or I could do all these things. Look at all these things that I did. I healed this woman with from this thing and blah blah. Anyways, well, one of the things that is in the songs, and he made a music video, by the way, to this, because that's what he did, is he did over exaggerated music videos. And in this music video, he had what I guess he thought Dungeons and Dragons games looked like. I don't know, but he did have polyhedral dice on there. And so I used to, listen to this dude when I was back in the religion. And even went to one of his concerts, and I was like, oh, so cool, awesome, amazing, I love you. And then I got out of the religion and all that jazz, and so he kind of stopped being very popular because and like he sold out stadiums, right? He did all these elaborate music videos and stuff. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and I don't even remember how I heard about it, but he was coming to a backwater, not even 100 people church to do a concert. And this was after 2017. And of course I'm a, big Pathfinder player at that point. And I hear about this and I'm like, oh, this triggers my antagonizing side. Oh, hi, doggy. Yes, we have animals, guys. So this triggers my antagonizing side, and so I get dressed up in what I can. The only thing I have to emulate an adventurer or like witchy person. So I dress up, do my makeup. I take a what is that kind of bag? Messenger bag. And I fill it with my D&D book, because I only have one D&D book, but I do have the D&D the player's guide or whatever manual.
Handbook.
Player's handbook, yes, that one.
HP. Yep.
And then I took some Pathfinder books with me, some character sheets, and some dice. And well, I didn't want to pay the $50 to shake his hand and get a picture, but he did have a merch table. And I sat there, lurked, listened to his music, watched everybody find out. I'm just like, you have no idea who is standing in your midst. You have no idea. This is great. And I'm just saying that, and I get some looks because I definitely do not fit the church going vibe. So I definitely get some looks from people. Man, I wish you'd come back now with my entire outfits that I have now. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Tangent on a tangent.
Tangent on a tangent. Come on, dude. Dude, come on. Come back. I don't even know if you're still alive. You had cancer. But but anyways, so he finishes and people are going up there to, well, I go to the merch table. I'm like, and of course these people that are like his merch people and stuff, like they know all of his stuff. So I pull out my D20. And it's the same color. It almost is the exact same D20 that he had on the table, because I got it from a pound of dice from Chessex. And so I take it to the person. I go, hi, will you do me a favor? I can't afford to go to pay to meet him, but will you give him something for me? Oh yeah, sure. What how can I help you? And I just hand them the D20. I'm like, will you give him this, please? And just grin. And they just kind of look at it in their hand and they're like, and look up at me. I'm like, have a nice day. And I turn and walk away.
You gave him the devil dice.
I gave him the devil dice. Anyways,
And who is
so
this?
I don't think I should name them on the podcast. So
Aw.
let me think of how to. What is that? What is that? I don't know. I will tell you later, because I don't want to get in trouble and get our podcast like in trouble on the first episode back. But if anybody knows a
Okay.
song about a witch's invitation to their house, then you'll know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Anyways, why were we talking about a witch's invitation to their house?
The axis of the earth.
Oh,
and it's not being 90
yes!
degrees.
Because of his stupid song about Jesus battling the devil, and like it was in like a total style of like literal fighting, like a ring match.
Yes.
And God counting down 10, 9, the demon saying things, 8, 7, he's not moving, Yeah. Yeah, that I'm not kidding, that's actually from the song.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Wow.
So that's how I
I never
learned
really
the
got into
degrees of the
religious music.
sun or of the earth.
The Earth's axial tilt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tells it at a perfect
And it
23-degree angle.
Nope. It's not perfect 23-degree angle. That's wrong.
What a surprise.
What a surprise.
It's around 23.5 degrees, but yeah, it's not
Please
perfect.
tweet at
And
him
it wobbles.
because I know he's on
It,
Twitter. Or I
it
assume he
wobbles
would be
so
on
that
Twitter.
sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less.
But no, he's right because Christianity and God and everything's perfect. And sorry,
Yeah.
that's a different podcast episode.
Yeah. We should definitely talk about the anthropic principle at some point.
What?
The anthropic principle, it says that the conditions here are best supported for us where we are because the conditions are supported best so that we could be here.
Oh,
It's kind of like what?
why are you
What?
typing?
Isn't it cool that rivers always go right by the biggest cities? Right, but actually
Oh,
people build cities
yeah.
next to big rivers, right?
The
It's not
whole
that the rivers move.
purpose,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Everything is the way it is because it's for us because purpose.
If we weren't here to observe it the way it is, then it wouldn't be the way it is. So the only way that we could be here to observe it is because it is the way it is. Right? It wasn't made for us that way. We were made because it is that way. And not made, but we evolved to be the way we are because of the way things are. It reverses cause and effect.
Yes,
That's what really
that's what was rolling around in my brain. I just couldn't say it, but that's what I saw because I see things in my brain instead of
yeah. That's all right.
anyways. So axis of the earth tilts or is obviously it's tilted and apparently wobbles.
Yes.
So we're just dancing
Yeah.
around the universe or the
Yes.
solar system.
But they call the wobble a procession. Right. It processes. But
Okay.
that's why the sidereal year is 20 minutes longer than the tropical year, which puts it just over a quarter of a day longer than 365. So
Yes.
you have to add an extra leap day instead of taking one out. But uh, we need to talk about leap seconds,
Mm-hmm.
right?
We have leap seconds
So
too.
yes, you know how GPS works.
Satellites.
Okay, yes, they do work by satellites. They work by clocks. Right? They have very precise clocks, and so they know exactly what time it is. They have to take into relativity into account because they're moving so fast, right? And because they're moving fast, it causes time to slow down. They have to take in a lot of different things. But sometimes something big happens on Earth, like an earthquake or a tsunami, or just something happens that shifts things on the Earth, and it causes us to speed up or slow down a little bit. And so leap seconds have to be added in by different bodies, the International Astronomy Union or uh, whoever maintains UTC. They add in leap seconds or they take out leap seconds to keep all of our clocks lined up so that GPS works properly. Did you know that earthquakes change the rotation of the Earth or
What?
the revolution of the Earth?
Mm-hmm.
Big earthquakes cause the Earth to speed up or slow down. Like, like a figure skater, when they have their arms out, they're going slowly, and when they move their arms in, they speed up. Well, an earthquake moves enough mass, like that, it causes a shift in the centrifugal motion, whatever, the angular velocity, and causes Earth to speed up or slow down a little bit. When they put like the dam, the Three Gorges Dam in
Yes.
China, is that what it was
Yes.
called? When that dam went online, it it stopped enough water that they had to add in leap seconds as well.
Yes. was actually going to mention that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Um,
That's what one of the thing that pops in my mind whenever thinking of leap seconds.
yeah. Is that just anything that shifts the mass around on the Earth is going to change the rotation of the Earth, and so they have to account for that so that the satellites that run everything are lined up properly, right? So here's the example, right? When ships would sail east to west, they knew how far north and south they were by the stars because you see different stars north to south, but east to west you can't tell by the stars how far you are. And so they needed a clock so they could see where the sun was or where the stars were at a specific time to know where they were. It was called the longitude problem. And so back in the 1600s, they there was like a quest to find the best clock that they could that would work on a ship because they had pendulum clocks and they worked very well and they were very accurate, but they didn't really work on ships.
no, because
And
ships
so they
move.
had to find a clock. Yeah, because ships rock back and forth, so it makes the pendulums not really work that well.
Exactly.
And so that was a huge undertaking was to solve the longitude problem with a clock that would work on a ship. And now we have the same problem. We have the same longitude problem, but with satellites in space, and it's a lot more precise. And so that's why we add and subtract leap seconds. But yeah,
So who does this?
I told it's the International Astronomical Union. Uh, Whoever maintains UTC, let me look it up.
Yeah, there's various governing bodies.
I was gonna say that's another question. Who is like, the timekeeper?
The International Earth Rotation Service. The decision to introduce the leap second into UT. So UTC is what adds and subtracts leap seconds. It's not the Gregorian calendar. It's no other calendar. Do you know UTC?
No.
It's the Universal Time Code. It starts in January 1st, 1970, and it just adds seconds. That's how computers tell time.
Yeah, that's the time system that every
Is that
computer uses. Uh,
is that what has to do with the Y2K thing?
No.
Damn it.
So
That you
so
can't tell me about
Y2K.
that because that's a future episode.
uh, but no, that you
adding that to our
that was
It's already in there.
is it?
It's on the spreadsheet on the drive
Yeah,
for
I'm not using
suggestions.
the drive. I'm adding it to our chat suggestions.
Fine, I have it in a drive. Jesus.
We should unify those.
yeah. It's the International Earth Rotation Service that maintains UTC.
So who governs these people and who chooses them and
That sounds like an entirely different
episode
or topic
Yeah.
at least.
topic?
International governing bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. There's quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm. They do a lot of work.
But no, we can't have. Never mind. New topic. Yep. See. Now we're just gonna start talking, and we're just gonna come up with new topics because I'm gonna ask questions. So okay, so this mysterious unit of people decide. Yes,
Making it sound like an international government conspiracy.
I mean, it is a cabal. It's a cabal of time enthusiasts. The most vicious of all people.
The shadowy cabal of lizard people that control our time.
I mean, you just got us viewer listeners that we didn't want to be listeners, but okay.
That's right. We're gonna go straight down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, and we're gonna say that the International Rotation Society is the real evil.
No, don't say that. People
They're the
will
ones pulling the strings.
people would believe you.
It's not the lizards, it's the raptors.
Yeah, they're pulling the leap strings of everybody. Did you?
Oh no. That's what this
This
podcast is
independent
about,
body.
guys. We're actually starting new conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that's right.
Jesus.
Did you know cake was just invented by Big Egg to make people eat eggs? It's ridiculous.
Big
Big
egg.
egg.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Oh my god. Our Saturday game. I need to make a GIF that says big egg.
Egg.
Big Egg.
So Eric's little brother, he likes to his character really likes eggs,
Egg.
apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
No,
this
no,
whole
no, no, no,
Gaston
no.
like.
Oh, I'm sorry, not eggs.
He doesn't like eggs. He likes egg.
Egg.
Just
Okay.
egg. Just egg. So now I've got it because I'm apparently now making GIFs for everything to have on Tenor so that I can stop having them saved on my computer. And now I've got to make an egg GIF that says big egg.
Egg.
Yeah. Big Egg.
Yes.
All right. You have any more questions, Lily? You understand leap time now.
No.
Good. Right back to where we started.
Exactly. There's this mysterious thing called time. And people don't know how to measure time. And so
Yep, it's a construct.
So we measure it by different things that move around in the universe, and everything's not, stable and in the same place and stuff. And so time moves.
I
Time
guess
keeps
we probably should
marching
have
on.
started this by singing 525,600 minutes from Rent.
525. Nope. Can't do that. We'll get in trouble. I did have a choir. One of my last choir concerts was singing that.
But the big question in that song is, how do you measure a year? In daylight, in starshine,
Okay.
in cups of coffee. We should have a cups of coffee calendar.
I'm sure you can get a cups of coffee calendar somewhere.
That should be the year in cups of coffee.
No,
yeah, but that's subjective to how many people drink, how many cups of coffee people drink.
Yeah. Didn't you hear? All of these calendars are subjective.
This is true.
Yeah.
Time is subjective.
Mm-hmm. We just kind of agree.
Why can't we agree on other things?
Because we need a shadowy cabal of the International Earth Rotation Scientists to control it for us.
So we don't really agree. We just get told what to do and what to think.
Yeah.
We don't have the right nerds in the right places, is what he's saying.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
So I guess with that, time keeps marching on, guys.
Got that one country song in my head.
You're welcome.
So many songs.
I mean, it's you. You've been training me to think in song.
That's true.
Or other. Well, that's about as much as I got because I don't got movie quotes.
Yeah, that's true.
I listen to more music than I do watch movies and TV and stuff. So with you slowly injecting more music into my playlists, I've started thinking more in music terms or song lyrics.
That's good.
But yeah, so we will be back in some time frame. And
that
hopefully
time frame is subjective though.
Yes, the time frame is subjective because we'll be back whenever you play the next episode.
Yeah.
For some people, it could be a week. For other people, it might be years from now.
Yeah. But we'll come back with a new topic of which they're going to inform me on. It's hilarious because they hate when I tell them that it has to be a new topic. They can't tell me about it right then and there. It's great. But yes, so we'll come back with a new topic. I have no idea what we're going to talk about next time, but we'll figure it out. And you can be just as curious as I am to figure out which topic we're going to talk about.
Yes.
And look forward to the next 15-minute Lily tangent.
Only 15 minutes?
Become it was around there.
That's what
we
it
should
is.
Add that as a segment.
Yeah, we should have okay, it's time for tangent time. But it's not ever gonna be in the same it's not ever gonna be the same place in the episode.
It wouldn't be a random tangent then.
Exactly.
No.
So I'm just gonna get a bell and I'm gonna go ding. Okay, tangent time.
Here's a fun fact. Tangents are orthogonal to every radius of a circle.
What?
That was a tangent on tangents.
Luckily, this is a podcast and you can't see my face. At least
not confused.
So every radius of a circle hits a tangent to that circle at 90 degrees.
Okay.
If a radius and a tangent intersect, they intersect at 90 degrees. A tangent touches the circle at only one point on the outside. Radius comes from the center, touches the outside. If they touch, they make a 90-degree angle. So they're orthogonal.
Okay. I need you to draw this out and show me because all I'm seeing is a circle.
Here.
No.
I'm gonna draw it out. A radius starts at the center of a circle.
Shut up.
And extends.
That is not the kind of drawing I meant. And you know this. My antagonizing side, go antagonize a Christian person. Your antagonizing side, antagonize me.
Yeah,
sounds like fun.
Antagonize Lily. Yeah, it is fun.
You would know.
I would.
Well, I guess, do we have anything else to say, guys?
Not this week.
No, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Yay! I hope that you all enjoyed our random-ishness. Well, okay, it's just randomness. And also the little bit of knowledge that you hopefully got, because I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to this and take notes. And maybe.
I could just send you my notes.
Oh, no. I'm just kidding. It's not like I signed up to do this or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you guys have a great time period. And we will see you next time. Don't forget to love each other.
Yes. We're not actually going to see you. So don't be like waving at us and expecting us to wave back or anything.
I will see each and every one of you.
Eric is part of IERS, so that makes sense.
Damn it, that was supposed to be a secret. Fuck.
Oh, we can edit that out, right, Lily?
I don't edit things for this podcast.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Anyways.
Don't forget to love each other. Like and share this this thing, and yeah.
Oh yeah, and also all of our sources that they do have sources for will be in the doobly doo. So if you're curious of information about where they pulled their information from, you can find it there. So yeah, we all say don't forget to love each other and have a nice time.
Bye.
Bye.